in Milwaukee. Well, federal authorities arrested a Milwaukee County Circuit Judge saying she tried to assist a migrant from escaping federal authorities. Now, her supporters say she told the individual to leave out a side door, and that's the justification they actually gave for the arrest. Friday morning, Judge Hannah Dugan was formally charged with felony obstruction. They allege she assisted the individual in evading immigration and custom enforcement agents on April 18th. Now, this is the first time a local official has faced criminal charges under Trump's second administration. Now, here's the deal. They had an administrative warrant, not a criminal warrant, an administrative warrant. And so that's what they were using as the basis for this arrest. Well, Michael, when you start arresting judges, to all the people who are saying, well, he's not going to be that bad, here you go.
You have amnesia of the first time in office, because the first time in office was horrible. This is lawlessness on steroids. This is even worse. Let's I always give the test. If you think it's not this bad, what would you do if Barack Obama did the same damn thing? Would you sit here and say, oh, it's not that bad for Barack Obama to have judges arrested? It's not that bad for Barack Obama to attack the Republican National Convention's or the Republican National Committee's #1 online fundraising platform? It's not that bad for Barack Obama to release convicted domestic terrorists that tried to overthrow the government and give 1,500 pardons. It's not that bad. So, this is more lawlessness here, but this is designed to intimidate judges who various cases are going to go before, possibly, because we know there have been about 130 lawsuits or so filed against the Trump administration. In the past week or so, the NAACP has filed a lawsuit against the Department of Justice, including Linda McMahon, regarding their DEI policies. So this is more thuggery and lawlessness, but this is what you get when you elect a 34-time convicted felon.
Obviously, there were protests. People were showing up at the courthouse, Derek. And I mean, when you just sit here and look at this, all you can do is just shake your head. But when you're dealing with a thug, this is how thugs operate.
Roland, some people in our circle, they were saying, well, we didn't see this in Project 2025. They probably weren't. I don't know what Project 2025 they were reading, but this was all outlined in Project 2025. In my humble opinion, Project 2025 says we're going to go against the Constitution. We're going to go against the rule of law. We're going to go against, we're going to consolidate the three branches of government. We're going to go after the 13th Amendment. We're going to go after the 14th Amendment. We're going to go after the 15th Amendment. We're going to go after civil rights protections. We're going to go after voting rights. Project 2025, Roland, said it all. So we should not be surprised that a presidential mob boss is unleashing the DOJ, the FBI, federal marshal, and everyone else at his disposal. You have a Republican Party that's willing to go as far as they need to go to carry out whatever. Man, it's getting exhausting to say unprecedented, but this is unprecedented. This is unconstitutional. This goes against the rule of law. This goes against the very tenets of our society. You starting to arrest judges? This is an example, as Michael said, this demonstrated intimidation, because another judge said, we're going to hold you in contempt. And so this is a trial balloon to tell all the other judges, if you come across me, I'm going to have you arrested. And ain't nobody going to put me in check. There are no safeguards. There are no guardrails with this dude right now, because you have a Republican Party who's just going to remain silent and just let this thing run amok.
Matt, we kept trying to tell people that this is what this thug was going to do, and the thug is showing exactly who he is.
He's showing exactly who he is, I think, a lot faster than people expected he might do that, and a lot more substantially than he might do that. And I didn't get a chance to hear what Michael said. He's usually right, so I'm sure he was right this time. But I echo a lot of what Derek said, particularly because right now you not only have a crisis of just straight up intimidation, but you've also got a crisis of federalism. What did Republicans say forever? They wanted local control, right? How many times have we talked on this show about how they've attacked, low-level state boards and local boards for the purpose of basically getting their tentacles out into the communities in terms of their policy? I tell you that to say this. I mean, theoretically, this judge should have sovereignty to do whatever is appropriate in her courtroom, because generally the way it's set up is the judge is the one controlling that little fiefdom that's their courtroom. If the federal government now says you cannot do that, right, because you're subject to what we think is appropriate in our policy, and if you don't do what we want you to do, we're going to come in and arrest you, that's not only purely intimidation, but it's also indicative of the idea that we don't care about any boundaries. The only boundaries that exist are the boundaries that we say exist, not the boundaries of state law, not the boundaries of jurisdiction. I mean, that's what you see, right? When you look at the president, usually the president doesn't have any involvement in local matters. And I know here, this was the FBI arresting this judge, but that's really a subterfuge. The bigger thing is the Trump administration is trying to make it exceedingly clear that they hold all the cards, they exert all the power, and they don't care what the alleged power structure or constitutional power structure actually sets up. They're going to do whatever they want. They're going to run roughshod over those boundaries, and a judge in her courtroom does not have the authority, despite all those years of saying local control, that she has constitutionally under the Wisconsin Constitution and statutes.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.